Today, we're going to talk about 3 habits that will either make or break your plant based journey. And I tell you what, it's a really interesting thing to think about these things that outside of your plate. So, first of all, we know that transitioning to a plant based diet is a fantastic step towards better health, a cleaner planet, and even a lighter mood. But let's face it, your success isn't about knowing what to eat. It's about building habits that make plant based living sustainable and satisfying. So, today we're going to talk about those 3 key habits can set you up for success or lead to frustration if neglected. So, if you're new to the channel, let me just introduce myself and why should you even listen to me. My name is Dr. Lori Marbus. I'm a board-certified family and lifestyle medicine physician. I've been practicing medicine for over 2 decades, and I've been plant-based myself for 13 years. And being licensed in every single state of the country and DC, I have seen thousands of plant-based patients over the course of all those years. And let me tell you, these are the recurring reasons why I see people who fail. So let's dive in to the how and why behind each habit so you can absolutely thrive. Number 1, what is the make? Prioritize whole foods. What's the break? Relying on processed plant-based alternatives. So a whole food plant-based diet is grounded in unprocessed or minimally processed foods, think beans. So like other unprocessed whole foods are fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and nuts and seeds. The minimally processed would be like canned beans. Now, these foods are nutritional powerhouses that your body really craves. This is what they need to thrive and remain healthy. Fiber alone is a game changer, right? It keeps your digestion smooth, it regulates blood sugar, and even helps lower cholesterol. But now let's talk a little bit about the plant-based junk food trap. Highly processed options like vegan nuggets or plant-based ice cream might mimic those familiar tastes, but they often come with added sugars, refined oils, and sodium. So while they're convenient on an occasional treat, relying on them too heavily really leaves you undernourished and overfed. So what should you do? How to prioritize your whole foods. First of all, focus on building meals around simple nutrient-dense ingredients. For example, you could start, let's say, a base of quinoa, some type of whole grain that you like. You can add in some dark green leafy greens. You can add some roasted chickpeas, maybe a drizzle of tahini or your favorite sauce. And you've got protein, you've got fiber, some healthy fats, and a ton of flavor. Next, you might want to stock your pantry with staples like those canned beans, the whole grains, and frozen vegetables. These make it much easier to whip up balanced meals, and really then you're done in really quickly. So if you're short on time, that's even better. And why does this work? Eating whole foods, guys, is satisfying and nutrient rich. This is so important. It naturally curbs cravings for less nutritious options. Plus, cooking with whole foods helps you develop a deeper appreciation for your ingredients and flavors, making your diet more enjoyable over time. Number 2, the make it habit is plan ahead for success. How do you break leaving meals to chance? I will tell you, this is I'd almost make this number 1. I don't know. That's a hard toss up. But especially just coming out of holidays, people who don't plan ahead and then they get into this they fall into their old habits of how they were eating. Oh my goodness, it throws them off the wagon, but then they go and jump in a river and fall off a water cliff, like a waterfall on a cliff. It's just it's like they can't find their way back. So literally, this is, I think, one of the biggest pitfalls of any diet, plant-based or otherwise, is getting caught unprepared when hunger strikes. And without a plan, you might default to the fast food, skip meals, or settle for something unsatisfying, right? So meal planning doesn't have to be like rigid or time consuming, but it's a critical habit for just kind of staying consistent and reducing stress. So when you plan ahead, you ensure that you always think about these could be pre-cooked grains, they could be roasted vegetables, or a hearty soup that can last for days. And then by taking control of your food environment, you eliminate decision fatigue and set yourself up for success even on busy days or you're really tired. So let's talk a little bit more about how to plan ahead. Choose 1 or 2 days a week to batch cook a few staples, like a pot of lentils, roasted vegetables, or a big salad. You can store these in clear containers so they're easy to grab and you don't forget they're in the fridge. Number 2 is quick options on hand, like whole grain tortillas, hummus, frozen vegetables, or meals in a pinch. Number 3 is plan your snacks too. So have options like fruit, trail mix, or whole grain crackers ready to go when you don't reach out to those ultra processed alternatives. And so why does this work? Because having healthy options readily available reduces the likelihood of making poor choices. Plus, meal prepping saves time and energy throughout the week, so you can focus on some priorities. And I'm going to give you two patient stories that might be very helpful too. Number 1, I had a patient who, on his way driving home from work, he said he had to pass by, I think it was either McDonald's or In-N-Out Burger. I don't remember which one, but it was one of these fast food chains. Oh yeah, it was the Golden Arches. We used to make fun of the Golden Arches. So he'd see the Golden Arches and it was like a beacon just pulling him in to be like, come to me, let me feed you. Like he was just, right? He said he just couldn't stop. And so when he would go on vacation, he actually did better, because when he was driving home from work, he had a stressful job. He would be, man, I'm just so hungry. Sometimes he had skipped lunch and he just like, I just have to drive through. So he drove through the McDonald's. Well, driving through McDonald's not only just gave him a Big Mac, it also gave him diabetes and being overweight and heartburn and literally a fast track to the grave. That is what McDonald's serves up in reality. And so what he had to do is he had to change his destination home just by a block, so he didn't see that trigger that's like, oh yeah, that sounds good. I think I need that. And the other thing that he did is he brought a healthy snack for lunch and for when he was driving home, because it's definitely noted when people go to the grocery store and eat something healthy before they go to the grocery store, they make a 40% more likely 40% of their grocery list is more healthy, right? So when they buy foods, they're 40% more likely to improve or buy healthier foods versus those fast food junk options, because the grocery store is also set up to make you fail, especially if you walk down those middle aisles. So those are a couple of things you could think about. And then really finally, I think the second story is really planning ahead with what's in your environment. So, you know, I'll just share this with of my own. I think this is a better story than my other patients. So I will share with you my own issue with the Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies. I cannot have those in sight. It's like, even just thinking about right now, I get like that chocolatey minty melting flavor in my, and I've been whole food plant-based 13 years almost. I mean, so if I see these things, if I see a little Girl Scout cookie, I give them money. It's like, I can't eat your cookies. And I just keep going. I don't even pause to reflect. Do I really want to just give money? I will give them money because I think it's a great entrepreneurial thing. They're teaching them business and all that good stuff. But I can't have that. And I had someone at work one time, many years ago, who knew I had this issue because I'm pretty transparent with my own challenges. And it was Girl Scout cookie time. So everyone has a little Girl Scout, it seems. They put a box of the Thin Mint cookies on my desk. I have no idea to this day who did it, but it sat there and looked at me, and I was like, do I dare eat these things? So you know what ended up happening? I ended up eating, they come in 2 little sleeves, and there's like a lot of cookies in one sleeve, like I think like 16 cookies. I ate one sleeve of these cookies, and then I had to throw the others away. But that tells you, even with someone who has conviction, who understands nutrition, who tells other people what to do, we're all at risk. If you're tired and stressed, like being a family medicine doctor is not the least stressful job in the world. And I'm not saying it's the most either, but that particular day, it was in the afternoon, and it did just, there's something about those cookies. Anyway, so I had to throw those cookies away. So I hope this, prepare yourself, and your environment's really, really important. So being mindful of that is so, so critical. Moving on. And I think this is a huge one as well. And it's less of an issue for me because I really don't care what other people around me necessarily think or do. But for some, this is really, really important because they feel very isolated. But I'm also lucky because my spouse and my kids join me in my things, my journey, my plant-based journey. So that very well be why I think it's less of an issue. But one is the make is build a community, and the break is navigating your journey alone. So I certainly wasn't alone. But the decisions on what we ate and everything did that kind of set on my shoulders alone. But once I've made a decision, I'm done. But for those who are adopting a plant-based diet and you're new to this, it can be really feel isolating, right? Because you may be surrounded by friends or family who just don't get it. They don't share your goals. And it's easy to feel unsupported or misunderstood, which can lead to discouragement. So building a community, whether it's in person or online, really provides the encouragement, the accountability, and fresh ideas to really keep you inspired. So community is more than just a safety net, right? It's a source of motivation. So sharing recipe tips or even frustration with like-minded individuals can keep you excited about your journey. A strong support system also helps you celebrate your wins, no matter how small they seem. And I will tell you, there's nothing like having a community that you don't have to explain why you're doing what you're doing. They just get it because they're your tribe. They're your people. And I'm going to tell you about our community here in a minute, but how do you build your community, right? You can join local meetups or online groups, focus on plant-based living. Facebook, Instagram, or Reddit are full of thriving communities ready to welcome you. You can share your plant-based journey with friends or family. While they may not join you, they're more likely to support you when they understand your goals. And then engage with inspiring content like plant-based podcasts, YouTube channels like this one, or cookbooks to feel connected to a larger movement. Plus, we just launched our first book. It's over on Amazon if you want to check it out. It's called Plant-Based 101. Just Google that and Marbus if you need to. But why does this work? Humans, we are social creatures, right? And community really provides the encouragement we need to stay consistent. So seeing others, succeed really reminds you of what's possible. And troubleshooting challenges together keeps you motivated. Plus, being part of a community just turns your plant-based lifestyle into a shared adventure rather than just kind of a lonely endeavor, right? So remember, mastering a plant-based diet is more than switching what is on your plate. Yes, that's obviously the number one focus, but then we kind of forget these other kind of, what I say, very important supporting habits. And it's about building habits that you really can set you up for long-term success. So prioritize your whole foods. That's the one thing on your plate. Plan ahead and stay prepared, and then build a community for encouragement and accountability. So remember, just start small and so important to remember that consistency beats perfection every time. And each meal is an opportunity to align with your values and your health and your process. So if you're really looking for more help, maybe you're like, well, what are the whole foods in the recipes that taste good? How do I prepare? What recipes can I do? How long can they stay in their fridge? Where do I find a community that's going to listen to me and be able to help answer all those questions? Well, I've got something for you guys. Number one, I have this free masterclass. It's called Master the Plant-Based Diet, Lose Weight, and Reverse Chronic Disease, because the majority of people who even search out this way of living are trying to improve their health. And so my friend Brittany Drudy, who and I, we both started the thing called the Healing Kitchen. It's a community which you'll learn about in the free masterclass. It's all about the support you can get. So in the masterclass, you're going to learn the 5 top mistakes people make on the plant-based journey, and our framework that we utilize. It's a 4-step framework to really help you understand, are you doing everything right? And so you can thrive. And then finally, you're going to learn the number one reason people fail on a plant-based diet. And again, has nothing to do with what's on your plate or recipes or anything like that. So if that intrigues you, check out the link below, and we'd love to have you listen. Put our heart and souls into it. So Brittany and I together have around 22 years of plant-based experience. So we brought it all to you, and we hope you enjoy it. So thanks again, everyone, for being here. And as always, I'm sending gratitude, joy, love, and healing your way, because we all need more of that in this world. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will be back next time.